All right, welcome back to Post Nut Clarity. I'm Joel Carter.
And I'm me, like me and you.
Yes.
Okay, so today we're talking about healing and growth. So the title for today is Healing Starts When You Stop Escaping. So tonight's episode is going to be more like very soft and emotional, but all about healing and growth. It's not saying that you're not going to be moving on, but the real work of starting to heal.
Yeah. We both love the book, The Power of Now. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to hit on a few of those topics
Yeah.
from the book, which we highly recommend everyone to read. It's the foundation of understanding yourself, and everything else can kind of fall in line when you truly understand how to live in the moment and be present.
Yeah. So, what we're going to discuss is, are you truly healed, or do you know if you're truly healed, or are you just avoiding it?
Yeah.
So, are you just kind of sinking it in and letting it sit in there and you're hiding it and avoiding it? Or are you truly healed and
Right.
know that you're truly healed? So, that
Like,
we're going to dive deep into that.
yeah, detaching from
Yeah.
it and then allowing it to come up later. It affects everything, your
Right.
family, your relationships.
Yeah. So,
Right.
let's do the fun fact.
Okay, fun fact for today. Okay, the brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and a remembered one. So if you're like replaying pain from the past
Yeah.
or projecting fear into the future, your nervous system stays in fight or flight mode. It doesn't know the difference
Wow.
than a real
That
threat
makes
in front of you.
sense. It makes sense.
It does. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's a processor, right?
Yeah.
It's just not external. So
Right.
that's why you have the feelings of fear and anxiety about the future and depression of the past. It's all just in your mind.
Yeah, that sucks actually to really think about it
I know.
all the time. I can't even, I mean, I've done it. I remember having those feelings when I wasn't healed.
Yeah. And we're going to hit on that tonight. Like, how do you recognize that and get out of it, allow it to pass and not affect you?
And by the way, guys, we're not experts
No,
here. We're
we're just
not
giving
therapists. And this is just our point of view, and everybody can have their own point of view. But this is just
what's helped us for
what's
sure.
helped us, and we're just giving that insight on what's helped us, really, right? Okay, so let's go into moment of clarity, and my this is going to be my moment of clarity.
Okay.
So my story, and you guys can give me input. Joel, you can give me input. But so I think in the previous episodes, you guys all knew that I was a foster child, but I've done the healing. Okay. But before that, I wasn't healed. So this is the story of before. So while I was in foster care, I was severely abused in every way possible. So whatever you guys know, every way possible is every way possible of trauma and abuse. So I've done the therapy, I've done the journaling of everything that happened in my life. I thought I moved on. I thought my life was great. I thought that everything was great. But what really happened was I just kind of shoved it in the back of my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm healed because I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to think about it. And you know what? I'm healed. But guess what? I wasn't. I wasn't healed. And the reason how I knew I wasn't healed was the fact that I was repeating the same patterns of what happened, the trauma that happened and the love that I thought was love. And so I grew into that pattern of I'm going to find this person, which was not the right person for me. I thought I was happy, but I was pretending to be happy. I knew I was pretending to be happy because everybody's like, "Oh, you're so happy all the time." Well, I wasn't deep inside. The healing is about really growing inside of you and knowing that you can accept the trauma, accept what happened to you, and learning from it and moving on. So, what I've learned from The Power of Now, and then there's another book, The Purpose of a Driven Life, and Forgive What You Can't Forget. What it talks about is, and I'm going to paraphrase this, and I put paraphrases healing is hard, growth is uncomfortable, but staying stuck in pain, that's the suffering. So when you get out of the pain and when you get out of that, all of that, and you truly grow, then when you can talk about it freely, that's when you've healed,
Yeah.
right? When people can't talk about their pain and their trauma, they're not healed.
You're absolutely right. And, you touched on something there. Words matter. So the situation, like the trauma, I like to say situation I was in. And if, and looking to situations that I'm coming into in the book, The Power of Now, it says you can only do three things, but then you hit on it. The acceptance. So you have to accept first. You can stop at acceptance.
Right.
Acceptance, change it, or leave it. And you can stop at either one of the three.
Right.
And the last one being leave it. But you always have to go back to the first one and accept that it happened or is happening because if you don't accept it, you can't acknowledge that it happened.
Right.
And by just pushing it down and pushing it back, no, I'm not going to deal with this, isn't going to heal. It's not going to start the process of healing.
No. And as much therapy that people can go to, yes, therapy helps. Okay. But only if you truly want the help. Are you going because somebody's making you? Or are you going because you know your body, your mind, and every part of you needs to help? Because it's like a drug addict. They're not going to get the help if somebody forces them. They're not going to want to change. But if they truly want to change, then
Yeah.
they'll change, right? So, same thing with therapy. You have to want to go to therapy. You have to want this so badly that you want to heal, you want to grow. So, you need to want it,
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
So I've always told, and I do volunteer a lot with the foster kids. And what I say to them is, first of all, life is what you make it. You decide your happiness. You live in the moment. You decide. But another thing that I say to them, and I forgot that I actually wrote it down because I had forgotten until today, is you're not broken. You were just wounded. And guess what? Wounds heal. So you are allowed to let your body heal and your mind heal if you allow it to happen, if you do the work.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful because people don't think about it that way. Your
Yeah.
mind has to heal and it takes time and effort.
Yes.
You have to let it rest. You
Yes.
have to let it work through the process.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, me. It's
Hey,
really
you're welcome.
all right. So we'll jump into segment number one. You are not what happened to you is the name of the segment. So if you're still hurting after all the healing that you've worked
Yep.
through, are you healed or hurting still?
Well, it depends. It just depends on what you did to heal, or did you just hide it in the back of your mind? Because our brain is so special and it's so smart. So are we putting it behind this one part of the brain, or are we truly healed?
Yeah.
Right? So for me, what I've gone through in my past, I know that I truly went to go healing. Now, if you ask me 10 years ago, did I do it? No. You know why? How I know? I couldn't talk about it. And anytime somebody brought it up, I was like, I'm not talking about it. Secondly, are you thinking about it all the time? Does this take over your life? And what I mean by that is you're not thinking about it every day, but there's instances where you're like, damn it, I wish I could have killed him. Why did that happen to me? Could I have done something about it? Why didn't I tell somebody? And you're reliving, rethinking it every single day, even though you said you healed, and that's not truly being healed. Somebody smart once told me that you can, and it's if you read The Power of Now, I think it's such a great book, but if you read that, it tells you to replace your memories with some good memories. And that's what I've done is replacing great memories that I have with my kids, my mom and dad, who I call my mom and dad, they took me in when I was 17. Replacing those amazing memories with what happened in the past.
Yeah.
So you think something triggers it, guess what you do? You replace those memories. And I think it's so important. But hiding it is a lot of people hide that forever. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. It triggers some type of memory. I'm gonna cry if I talk about it. It's gonna bring up bad memories. So we're not gonna talk about it. And that's hiding. And so you're not truly healed.
Yeah.
Right?
I like this concept too. Like people try to associate healing with a new version of yourself. Well, you break your arm, you don't go out and get a new arm. You let it heal because
Right.
it's part of you. And so every experience that you've had, every situation makes you who you are. And so think about healing as different. It's not about changing the version of yourself. It's about allowing who you are to heal because you only have you. So
Right.
you have one of you. So you're not going to get a new you. And it's okay when things come up randomly. I think we'll touch on this, but you need to just be the watcher of your thoughts. Allow it to come in, mark it as a thought, change it, but like let it just go. And training yourself how to be the watcher of your thoughts instead of allowing your thoughts to take you over and being your thoughts.
Right.
Because you're not the girl, you're not the foster girl. You're not the girl that was abused.
No.
I'm not the guy who went to war. I'm not the guy with dyslexia.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not the guy who struggled in certain ways in school and things. I'm not that. That was the situation I'm in. It's a product of my life, but it's made me a stronger person.
Right. So everything, and for the longest time, I blamed God. I said, why does bad things happen to good people? And I felt like I was a good person. But you know what? Now that I'm older and wiser, I'm going to say wiser, I believe that we have adversities and tribulations for a reason because I don't think I would be who I am today. I don't like the person that I am today, the kind person that I am today, the communicative person. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with what I did for growth. But in reality, I really do believe that things happen for a reason and I became who I am today because of it. So I don't blame God anymore.
Yeah. There's an old, I guess not wise tale, but it's an old phrase, and I'm not even gonna remember the phrase, but
Mhm.
it's Japanese for broken pottery. What they
Yeah.
would do is any broken pottery, they have like a way that they put the pottery back together as much as they can, and they seal it with the gold. They obviously put in value to this broken pottery, which it's an object, and we would throw it away. But
Right.
imagine we're that broken pottery and we have to put it back together and we put value into it. Now they put monetary value in gold, but we put it in the work to heal and put in people in our life, learning every day, learning something new about yourself every day, focusing on, the process of living in the moment and knowing that this is all you have.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about today when I was going to the gym and I I was like, I am so proud of myself. That's what I was thinking today. I am so proud of myself. As we were talking about the topics today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really am. Like how far I've came and the patience that I have and I feel like I'm super kind and I'm very giving and I'm a good person and I'm a hard worker. And I know that sounds conceited,
No, you should be. You should love yourself.
but as I was riding to the gym today, I literally told myself that I was proud of myself. And that's super important to talk to yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but I do talk to myself in my head and I'm like, I'm proud of you. You have done such a great job. Such a great job.
Those who say they don't talk to themselves are lying. Everyone talks to themselves. Let's be real. What's the voice inside?
Yeah, that is the voice inside.
Who's listening to the voice,
Yeah, of
right?
course. And I'm
You are
listening.
listening to the voice.
And maybe that's why I'm such a happy person, right?
Love that. All right. Segment 2.
Okay, segment 2. The power of now is not passive. What if being present isn't passive? It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It is hard.
It is. It is because you have to train yourself. It's learning a new skill that you have to work on every day because the Buddha would say this. Buddha was asked, "When do you know you're not in the moment and enlightened to who you are?" And he sat there for a second. And he said, "When you realize you're not in the moment and you're not enlightened,
Mhm.
that's when you are." And so you're going to falter in this process daily. It's the skill to get back up. It's the effort to get back on it. And when you realize it, whoa, I'm letting my thoughts take me
Take
over.
over.
That when you realize that right there is the growth moment.
You know that a lot of people are going to say, that is so hard. That's hard to do.
It is.
It is hard to do. And let me tell you, I know for a fact it's hard to do. I remember when I first got my divorce and I would call my mom and my mom would be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm not okay. It wasn't that I was upset that I got a divorce because I was ready for a divorce. It was that I was feeling sad and sorry for myself just sitting in my apartment. And I would tell my mom, I don't know. I said, I'm just sad. I'm just sad today. I let emotions of my divorce and being afraid of being alone and what would happen to Mila. Like I was sitting in that moment. I let my thoughts take over. And that's when I started reading all these books and getting therapy and meditating and praying. And I realized, why did I let my thoughts take over? Why? I can think about it, let it come into my head, and then guess what? You can do this. I did it. You put something else in your mind. You put something good in your mind and let that take over.
Yeah.
If you sit in it and dwell in it and think about it and think about it and think about it, guess what? You just let your brain and your thoughts take over, and your thoughts are not you. I'm sorry. I know that people are going to disagree, but your thoughts are not you.
Right.
You can put different things in your mind.
So one thing that comes to my mind while you said that,
Mm.
it's like someone trying to lose weight on a diet. If you falter, which most people do, and you go and eat something you shouldn't eat,
Mm.
do you just throw the whole concept of the diet away after that?
No.
Now, some people do. They're like, oh, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be normal.
Yeah.
And their normal is being unhealthy. But no, we shouldn't do that. But the identification of, you know what? It's just, you're going to mess up and you just got to get back on it. If you mess up one day, start the next day. You just start right back over. We have shot ourselves in the foot as humans because we made up time, right?
Mhm.
Circles around the sun a day.
Yeah.
We do it with our food, thinking about a 2,000 calorie meal on average. Everyone looks at it as a day, whereas in reality, you should look at it as a much longer period.
Right.
If you have a bad day of eating, the next 2 days, you should be amazing at it. And it's going to counter that one bad day. It is. And so you have to think about if you falter in the healing process, you're like, oh my God, I just set a half a day in my thoughts and I let it take me over. Then the hyper diligence to not do that the next day should be forefront in your mind. That's how you need to think about it. It's not a one day falter, fall back into it. It's a long process.
And you're going to mess up and you're going to have those thoughts.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time for this journey. You can't be healed in a week, can't be healed in a month, can't be healed in 6 months. It takes a while. So don't give up. It's hard and you would want to give up, but it's everything in life is hard. Everything good that you want in your life is hard. You want a good job? You want a good education? Guess what? It's hard. It's hard to get there. You want to be a millionaire? It's going to be hard to get there, right? So good things take time.
Here's a fundamental step that I would like to add to this.
Mhm.
How do you get out of your mind?
Right.
So, everyone probably knows what meditation is. Think of meditation in a different way though. Think of meditation as being present. And it's not 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening or whatever, just sitting by yourself, which is great to do.
Mm-hmm.
But think about all day long, exiting your mind and being just present with whatever you're doing. So just imagine this. You're doing the dishes, your mind's running and you're focused on the trauma or the divorce or the breakup. In that moment, just really focus on shifting to whatever you're doing. If you're doing the dishes, think about the water. How many people did it take? And being grateful. So replace that with gratefulness of everything you have in your life.
Yeah.
You're sitting there doing dishes. It's a chore, but you could be like, man, I hear the water running over my hands. How many people did it take? So grateful that we as a society have been able to get clean water to our homes in America. And
Yeah.
how blessed are we? That's the kind of things that drive your focus away from the thoughts and into the moment. You're spending time with your kids, literally just look at their toes and think about, man, those toes, I'm part of that toe.
Mm-hmm.
And their hands and their little voices. Just focus in on those things. You're with a friend, the same thing.
Yeah,
Be grateful,
absolutely.
just gratefulness and try to get to that joy that lives within you because all your emotions live in your mind. They're just attached to memories. They don't live in your body. They make your body react. They don't live in you and they're not external to you. The feeling is
Right.
not external. It's a chemical process in your brain that is attached to memories and emotions.
And that's a great thing that we've talked about this living in the moment. I think I posted a lot of my stories living in the moment because I do truly. And what that means and what Joel's talking about living in the moment and looking at little baby toes with your kids or washing the dishes. I do that all the time. And I believe y'all should try it too. When you're hiking, really sitting there. And there's a lot of moments when I'm hiking where I just stand there and I'm like, I don't say anything and I just feel the wind and I look at the water running and I see the waterfall and the flowers that are just so pretty and the leaves that are falling on the ground and each step that I'm taking or whatever it is. That's living in the moment, everyone. Or if you're driving and you're sitting in traffic and you're like, shit, sitting in traffic. I never think that. I never say, "Oh my god, this traffic is awful." You know what I look at? I look at the sky and I look at the different colors of the car, and I think about how blessed I am to be alive and driving in a car. That is what I'm thinking about. I have never been upset sitting in traffic because I'm living in the moment. So, everyone, if you want to feel happy and you want to grow and heal, practice living in the moment and start by recognizing what you have right in front of you.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me into, I think I talked to you about this, the training, do it in military. It's trying to get you focused and out of the emotional state you may be in. People that panic, there's things you can do like the 5, 4, 3. Look out, look for 5 things and say what you see, the first 5 things you see
Right.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
4 things you hear, 3 things you smell. And that is going to force your mind to get out of your thoughts and drop the emotion and just be present.
Yeah.
And so that's like a fundamental tool that you can do. If you're
It's
stuck
smart.
in a cycle, do those 3 things and you're pulling all the senses right in front of you. And your brain's like, oh, okay, well, we're here. We're trying to, be in this
Yeah.
space because there's something happening. Okay. 5 things we see. And it really works. It really gets your anxiety down. It can pull you out of like a funk,
Mhm.
at least a thought funk.
That.
And so that's something that,
Okay.
I hope people
People try
take
that.
away.
People try that. And I actually did that today at the gym. I was on the stair climber on level 10 and I was struggling, okay, because I don't stop,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna keep going, and I wanted my mind kept on telling me, "Stop, stop, you're exhausted, stop, you're tired, you need to give up." You know what I did? I'm like, "I am not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna count to 10, and I'm gonna think about the steps that I'm climbing on." So I looked at the steps. I looked at the time. I looked out the window. I looked at the people beside me and I'm like, those people are still going. Why can't you keep going? So that's the same thing. You look at the 5 things, you smell and all those things and what do you want to get to and what is your end result?
Yeah.
And that's with your life too. What is your end result? You want to be staying in a funk, misery and depression, all of that or do you want to be happy and be present in the moment?
Do you think that, do you think it's a fundamental, I don't know, society, is it fundamental to us to identify ourselves with titles that we give ourselves?
Like,
Do you
what do you
think we do that? Like, is that like what, what benefit is it
Mhm.
in our evolutionary trait, right? To identify ourselves as maybe a degree that we have, like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm a doctor. No, that's what you do. Or I'm a teacher, or I'm a mom, or I'm the person with cancer. I'm the girl that or guy that got dumped, got cheated on. I'm
Mhm.
that person. And so we go through cycles in our life where we identify with our position. And that's what we attach to ourselves. I don't know what evolutionary trait would that be beneficial toward.
Why do people need to identify?
I mean, we do, right?
I know.
And so that's something everyone should just ask themselves, like, what is the benefit in it? What does it do for us? Is it something we've brought upon ourselves through our process of human evolution where we've gotten too smart that
Mhm.
our brains have taken over and says, no, no, no,
Right.
we can do it better,
Right.
better than you. We're taking back the power. I think that's
Mhm.
how I kind of feel about it.
Right.
It's
I
taking
think
back the
so.
power to say, no, 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 that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not that. I'm
I am not
because
that person.
we change through the day. We put, and some people identified as, oh, I put my work hat on. or I put my dad hat on. In reality, those are just titles of what we do, not who we are.
No, we're not.
You know, and I think a lot of, and I've heard this, and this is an area where I think people might want to take away with this is like, you'll see people like mothers who have older children that cannot relinquish control because you know why? They've identified themselves as all they are as a mother, and it's hard for them to like let go. I had a mother like that. Love her to death. She passed away, but like she had a hard time differentiating herself from motherhood. She was mom. That's all she thinks she was. And that was the struggle that I think each one of my siblings, all 7 of us, dealt with. Like, how do you get out from underneath that as a child?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just, that's something I wanted to share because it's like, we do it too much.
Yeah.
We do it way too much in life.
And we don't need to label ourselves with anything because we're all of it.
We are.
We are. We're a mom. I'm a business development manager. I am a mom.
Podcast.
I'm a podcaster and I am a friend and all those things, but I don't have to label myself that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Something to think about.
Okay. So, just from this, I want everyone to understand that we are not trapped in our thoughts, that we can release ourselves from that. And that's by doing your part in healing and growing.
Yeah. All right. Segment number 3. Watch the mind, don't become it. So what if your healing is stuck because you believe everything you have is true? Like everything that's come towards you is true. You know, everything that hits you, you associate it with like, yep, that's true. That's who I am.
That is just misery.
Yeah.
I've lived like that for a long time.
I think we all have lived like that. And
I mean, is misery. I mean, everything that comes into your mind, you're like, that's true. I was that. I allowed this to happen. I deserved it. Because you start believing whatever wasn't your fault, whatever happened in your life, and you start believing it's your fault.
yeah,
Even though it wasn't your fault. So how do you get rid of that? How do you believe that it's not true? Because your mind is telling you it's true.
I think there's some self-evaluation here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't believe there are some negative habits in your life and you can't recognize those and truly take inventory of yourself, then you're a narcissist, right? Or I would say narcissist. You believe that everything you do it always right and everyone else is wrong. You're not necessarily empathetic to other people and it's all about you.
Right.
And so if you don't take some constructive criticism and identify with some of those things and say, you know what, that probably is true.
Yeah.
I accept it. I'd take this step too, because I know I do this and I think it's really valuable. I do this try to do with everything. If something negative happens, I want to come up with a positive right at the end.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I cut my finger, cooking. And I want to think of a positive right after. Well, it's not that bad. I learned my lesson. I need to wear cooking gloves, right? The positive is that I'm going to not get blood in my food next time. I don't know.
I actually have done that. Actually, I've cut my finger so many times, and I'm like, oh, it's okay.
Or an easier one is like, I get a ticket. Well, you know what? Dang it. I got a ticket. I accept that. I was speeding. I'm not going to argue about it. It is what it is. I'm going to fix it. But you know what? I could have gotten in a wreck up down the road. So maybe this saved me.
Well, that is a great thought because I did get a ticket for crossing the double white lines.
You dang double white lines.
Yeah, and I did. And you know what my friend Michelle said to me? We got pulled over, or I got pulled over, and I got a ticket for crossing double white lines. She said, you know what? Maybe we're meant to get pulled over.
Yeah.
Maybe something would have happened to us and we don't know, and that's why we got pulled over.
You never know.
You just never know. So, yeah, I got a ticket. I paid the fine. But then I'm grateful because something could have happened and we just don't know what that could have been. So take the positives. Yeah.
Take the positives at the end.
So let's talk about segment 4, everyday practices for present healing. So I'll tell you what I did for healing. And what I did was I read a lot of great books. You Are a Badass is a good one. The Purpose of a Driven Life, Forgive What You Can't Forget, Single on Purpose, The Power of Now, Untethered Souls. I mean, there's so many great books out there for growth and healing. And I've read some chapters over and over and
Yeah.
over again. If I like that chapter and I'm like, great, I need to listen to that again because I really need to follow that and understand that and utilize that in my life. And so I obviously Joel and I have been hanging out a lot because we do this podcast together. And I think he's heard me. I'm like, I'm reading chapter 6 again. Listen to it with me. But it's because I feel like there's so much learning that I can do from that chapter or that book or whatever it is. I've also done meditation and, of course, living in the moment, but meditating. And if anybody wants to learn how to meditate, and like Joel said before, where you can actually live in the moment and think of the things that are around you and not thinking of other things. But I've done meditation where you just lay there and really focus on your breathing and just sit in silence and then learning how to be by yourself, not with anybody. I mean, of course, your kids and all that stuff, but I'm talking about
Relationship.
relationships, learning to be by yourself and learning to learning to love yourself. And then I said earlier, I was telling myself I was proud of myself. Daily affirmations.
Yeah, daily affirmations are huge. Writing them down.
Yeah.
So you're connecting two things here. When you think something, it goes, it's in one part of the brain.
Uh-huh.
When you see something, it's in another part of the brain.
Yeah.
When you say something, it's in another part of the brain.
Right.
So your mind does not differentiate the sound of your voice from someone else's. Do you know that? So when you say, I'm so proud of you out loud, it doesn't know that it's not coming from an external source. And so giving yourself verbal daily affirmations it's a big part of this.
So for the longest time, I'll tell you guys a secret. What I did was I got little sticky notes, like the post-it notes, and every day I wrote a word about me that I loved. So, for instance, I said, "You're a great mother." Because for the longest time, I had people telling me that I was not a good mother from my ex-husbands. And so, again, your thoughts are in your head and saying, "You're not a great mother." So, what did I write on there? "You're a great mother. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're determined. You're driven. You are a great cook." I mean, there was so many sticky notes on the mirror, on the wall, but you look at that every day and you pick something out and then you have self affirmations of how much you love yourself. You do that daily, and I promise you that you will look at yourself differently.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
When you can create a habit with 20 days of doing something becomes a habit. And think about the things in your life that you do as habits that are not positive.
Yeah.
Just literally sit there and think about the amount of things you do that are not beneficial to you. How much better would it be to introduce things that are beneficial to you and focus on, 20 days and using technology if you need it, because a lot of people forget. Set alarms, set a reminder. Not everyone has Alexas, but you can set timers on your phone and label it. Hey, take 5 minutes.
Right.
And just tell yourself what to do in the moment that you're like setting and focused on, okay, these are some habits I want to create, good habits. Set your reminders for yourself, have an accountability partner. You can give permission to your friends and family members to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
You can use social media as an accountability.
Yeah. I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
There was this guy that I was talking to, and I would post on my stories of my gym pics, my progress pictures. And he had posted on his stories. Here she goes again, posting on stories. It was about me, by the way. And you know what? I was like, I'm not going to let that bother me. And I did that for a reason. People post on stories and people think, oh, she just wants attention. He just wants attention. I post on stories because I look at my stories every day. I look at it. I'm like, that's me. I've made a progress. I've lost a weight. I look good. You know what? I'm proud of myself and I'm going to look at myself. You should be proud of yourself too. And if you want to post stories, go for it. Who cares what other people think? You just need to do it. So, affirmations, please do that. It helped me out so much. That and journaling. If you can't do the affirmations, write down how you feel in a journal
and read it back. Set a goal in it that in 2 weeks, I want this to pass.
You know what's fun is every day you write down 3 or 4 affirmations on a Post-it note every day. And then maybe for Thanksgiving, you just post all the affirmations that you've written from January on, or you can start now and post them on your wall and look at them and say, "My goodness, these are the things that I love about myself. Man, do I love myself."
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would that be just to see a wall full of affirmations about how much you love yourself all over the wall, and you let your kids see it, your partner see it. And I think that's, maybe I should have done that, but I think that would be amazing to look at all the things that you love about yourself. Be hundreds of Post-it notes that you love about yourself, right? So maybe I challenge everyone to do that.
Yeah, it's a great challenge. And also challenge yourself to think about how you learn.
Yeah.
We've subscribed external sources to learn,
Yeah.
right? We go to college, we go to school, and we sit there in front of another human being and we learn from them. We read their books. We watch little clips online, and I think we have as a society, because I just thought about it, like we give over the power to other people to teach us. When think about, you're the best teacher of yourself. You can get the information, but then give it to yourself. So be your teacher. Be what you want. And I'm not saying, I've heard this, and you probably can
Yeah.
contest to this. Fake it till you make it. There are a lot of things that, let's say, writing on the sticky notes. I'm emotionally stable. You're writing, I'm emotionally stable, because you can identify that you're not emotionally stable. So writing the thing that you're not,
Yes.
feel like you're not, and not trying to think of things like, well, I do like this about myself. No, think about the thing that you want to change.
Yes.
And tweak.
Yes.
And get over and let go of. Write that down.
That's why I
and
said,
say, I am strong. I am confident.
yes.
Because you may not feel confidence. That's what you should be writing as well. It's like the things that you want to fix.
Well, not only do you write it, you have to read it
You do.
and believe it.
Because now you're learning, you're giving yourself the ammunition to create those habits where you're like, you know what? I believe this about myself.
I believe
This is a fact.
That is the biggest thing about writing affirmations, is not just writing them down and putting it up on the wall or your mirror. It's actually reading it and reading it and reading it and believing it. So the last part is really believing that you're confident and believing that you're strong. So it's really important that you believe in yourself and believe what you're reading. And that's why we're writing down affirmations. And I've taught my daughter for daily affirmations. She's only 8. And I'm like, hey, let's do daily affirmations. You are strong. You're beautiful. You're confident. You're a great dancer. You are a great friend. You are so sweet. And it's a great thing to do with your kids too, every single day. So they start believing it too. Because sometimes kids struggle in life too, and they don't know now to live in the moment. So we teach them young.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's super powerful.
Yeah, it is very powerful. Okay. So let's wrap it up.
Okay. I hope everyone's kind of taken something out of this episode, because I know it's near to my heart, and it is a hard topic to talk about and not sound like you're preaching to
Right.
someone.
Right.
And we never want to come off like we're trying to tell you what to do and what you're not doing right. I think, to reiterate what you said earlier, it's like, this is what works for us, because we've had a lot of conversations about this. And, it's coming back to that center point. How do you get out of the loop? How do you step away from the cycle you're in? And I think we've given some really fundamental tools here and steps.
And healing and growth takes time, people.
It does.
It's not overnight. So give yourself some grace and give yourself some time, and have some people that will support you to be there for you. You can't do this alone. People that add value to your life. Remember that. People that add value to your life that can support you. So that's really important too.
Yeah. If you're the only one in a group giving affirmations to other people, and all you hear is negatives in the group, maybe about other people or about yourself or about what you're not doing right, or, the simple, God, just get over it, then you're not in the right circle. You're not in the right circle. And, that kind of falls in line with what I've heard in the past, where if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So if you're the only one talking about wanting to be a better version of yourself, then you might be in the wrong room right now for
Yeah.
a true healing.
Yes.
And not to say you can't come back to it and have that group as, the fun room. Like there's different rooms in your life. So just focus on that. Like for this time, is this the right room I should be in?
So remember, healing is not avoiding or disowning who you were before. You're always going to have the past in your mind or in your heart or whatever it is. But in order to truly heal, you're going to think that of as a learning opportunity. Yeah, you've done that. Something happened to you, but you can grow from that and
Yeah.
you can learn from that. So always remember your trauma, your pain that you've gone through, that's a part of you forever. I'm sorry, this part of me. But you know what? I've grown from it. I've learned from it and I have become who I am today because of it. So I'm going to take that trauma, take that pain, and I'm who I am.
That's
I'm
it.
me. I am me. I am
You're
me
you.
because of it. Okay. I am me because of it. So remember that, everybody.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to like and share the podcast. You can find this episode and distribute it to anyone off of anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Spotify, Apple,
Amazon.
Okay.
And yeah, share this with friends or anyone you think that might need to hear this today.
Yeah.
It's for someone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And I hope that this episode has helped someone.
All right.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Bye.
If you've done everything to heal, but you still feel broken, you're not alone.
Your trauma is not your fault, but staying stuck in it, that's your responsibility. You decided that.
The version of you that got hurt, doesn't need to be erased. It needs to be healed.
You don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need to live in the moment. You need to learn how to love yourself and you need to meet yourself and face yourself right here, right now.
I love that. No truer statement.
Yeah, I know.